Op dit moment zijn we hier in de stadsgehoorzaal en achter mij ziet u de laatste repetities voor het public event van Hope XXL. Een zeer bijzondere manifestatie waarbij we de Nederlandse jongeren gaan de zogenaamde Liemerslist overhandigen aan de Europese jongeren. Een lijst waarmee een nieuw wereldperspectief wordt geschetst en waarmee de wereldproblemen die we proberen daarmee op te lossen. De Liemerslist is een universele declaratie van de dingen die we moeten doen om de wereld te verbeteren. We hebben natuurlijk het Mensenrechtenverdrag, er zijn de millenniumdoelstellingen, maar wat wij hebben is een echte to-do-list. Elk punt in deze lijst wordt een resolutie bij de VN, want uiteindelijk brengen we de lijst naar de Verenigde Naties toe en op deze manier proberen we dat te bewerkstelligen, dat de plannen die we hebben ook daadwerkelijk verwezenlijkt worden. Natuurlijk gaat het ook om iets anders, iets heel bijzonders, want we hebben vandaag te gast Kofi Annan. Kofi Annan zal met de jongeren in discussie gaan over de lijst en op deze manier ook zijn blik geven en zijn mening geven over de problemen die we moeten tackelen, maar ook natuurlijk wat voor oplossingen we daarvoor kunnen bieden.
In the long history of the world, many people stood up for human rights. For peace. Today, we see a free world that has achieved a level of prosperity and well-being unprecedented in all human history. Tomorrow, men will still say
that what unites us as human beings is far greater than what divides us.
the demands of our time are great.
And this is one of the most important moments.
Give us back quickly.
You and you and you and you and you and all of us.
I want to here. Something is happening in our world.
All three men are living this.
Can do extraordinary things. Our voice can change the world.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and a very warm welcome to this unique event, the European Hope XXL Conference. My name is Frits Bloemberg, and also welcome to our conference partners Achmea and Leiden University, and to representatives of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and VEFONS. During this special event, you will be introduced to the optimism of the younger generation. You will be inspired by what can be achieved by a group of young people. We are very honored that Mr. Kofi Annan, former Secretary-General of the United Nations and Nobel Peace Prize laureate, will be joining us today. Mr. Kofi Annan will provide his unique perspective on international relations and share the insights of his recent book, Interventions, A Life in War and Peace. Mr. Kofi Annan will be joining us shortly to share his views, and some of you even have the opportunity to ask a question. Can you explain what did you bring you?
So this is a vase. It has stones from all European countries. And also it has a small box, it has a USB stick in there. So after we revise the Liemerslist in the conference in the next couple of days, we're going to place the revised list in this box and give it to the World conference that's going to happen next year.
Yeah, because you're from Greece and you're one of the conference participants. So the next 3 days, put it away. It's very heavy, I think. But I think it's really interesting because on all the stones there's a name. Let's take a look. Tatiana Yankelevich from Belarus. There she is.
What I want to share with you all is an anecdote which has inspired me till this day. When I was 5 years old, living in Afghanistan, as you saw in the little clip, which was a little messed up, I was 5 years old living in wartime, and you can imagine as a child how sick I was of it all. So one night, I looked up to the moon, and I said to my grandfather, "Why can't we go live up there? It seems so peaceful." Very naive, of course. And my grandfather looked at me and he said, "Why give up so easily? We can still shape this world into a better one." And that has kept inspiring me to keep on trying. And that's exactly what I want to ask of you all. Please keep on trying. We can do this, and we will do this.
Okay. Here we see a little safe. And this safe contains a USB stick with the Dutch version of the Liemerslist. And you are going to hand over this safe to Jorgos. Jorgos, and then we're going to replace it with the stones. Jorgos, one more thing. Because you're from Greece, right? We do not have to worry about getting it back, or do we?
Well, you can give me a half-broken vase and then blame that it's all my fault for breaking it. But I think, and this is a message for today, if we self-criticism that is honest is an imperative part for achieving shared responsibility and prosperity for everyone.
Okay, I think it will be. It is a very important moment. Here we go. And Jama and Devika, I would like to ask you to hand over the safe to Jorgos. And then we're going to treat it carefully, he says. Now, if you put it on the table, then we're going to replace it with the glass container with the 70 stones. And ladies and gentlemen, the Liemerslist is now in European hands.
Het is heel bemoedigend dat zo ontzettend veel jongere mensen naar Hope XXL zijn gekomen. Om met elkaar van gedachten te wisselen over internationale politiek. Je merkt dat er heel veel pessimisme is onder de jongere generatie, ook onder de oudere generatie. Wat we nodig hebben is hoop om allerlei problemen aan te pakken op een realistische, praktische manier. En dat begint natuurlijk met idealen, maar het is ook essentieel om naar de praktische kant te kijken. Hoe krijg je politieke steun voor de maatregelen die nodig zijn? Het is heel belangrijk om nieuwe inspiratie te putten uit de doeleinden die we moeten realiseren. Een beter milieu, vrede in de wereld, meer werkgelegenheid. Er is ontzettend veel werkloosheid, vooral in Zuid-Europa. En betere verhoudingen in onze maatschappijen tussen mensen van hele verschillende achtergronden.
Your life is a journey. And when you go and start on the journey of your life, you need this thing. It's a telescope. A telescope has dramatically changed the way we look at the stars. A pessimist focuses on all the things that can go wrong, and driven by fear, he won't even come into action. An optimist focuses at the opportunities, the adventure, and all the possibilities at the end of the street, and driven by hope, he will come into action. And he discovers the one and only characteristics of a telescope. You can turn this thing around. That means that what seems to be a big problem can be a small problem as well. A tourist doesn't know where he has been. A traveler doesn't know where he's going to. To a man with a hammer, everything looks like a nail. To a man with a telescope, everything looks like something that can be seen through a new perspective. A pessimist focuses on who he is. An optimist focuses on who he might become. I wish you a very good telescope in the journey of your life.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Well, I'm extremely happy to be here with you this afternoon. I have a very soft spot for Holland. I have many friends here, and I've worked with many of your compatriots at the UN, from Jan Pronk to Alt Merket to Bert Koenders, former Prime Minister Lubbers, and I've seen young Dutch people all around the world working in humanitarian situations, difficult situations, in remote villages, trying to help others who are in difficulty. And so I've grown to admire and have quite a lot of respect for the dynamism of the young people of this nation. And from across the world, I see these young people everywhere, and they give you hope, because they go to places where sometimes governments are afraid to send their soldiers. But they go there because they want to make a contribution, and they feel there's something to be done. And so once again, let me thank you for being engaged at this early stage, not waiting till you get to a certain age or you mature or you grow before you get engaged. It is important that you become involved early, that you take responsibility early, and you are at an age where one is idealistic and wants to do things. And besides, I see you as the leaders of the 21st century. So for you to want to begin your political and social engagement early and to take responsibility is wonderful. So let's give the young ones a hand. Yeah. You cannot turn the wind, so turn the sail. And in fact, it's also a proverb I've used in the Middle East as I was trying to deal with the Syrian crisis, telling some of the leaders in the region that the strong transformational winds which are blowing in the region cannot be stopped, cannot be contained for long, and they have to embrace change and reform. Because when you are a sailor, you can understand when the strong winds are coming, you cannot just turn the wind or stop the wind. You have to use the wind and use the sail to exploit the wind, but you have to bend. You have to be realistic and realize that if you're going to survive and get on with it, your efforts must be how you handle the sail and the direction, not not pretend that you're going to stop the wind. It's a futile effort.
Yeah. You've been trying to negotiate the Syrian conflict. And as Hope XXL in our list of 100 articles, we have the idea for a continental peace president, and that should be someone who negotiates, who's the main negotiator when there's a conflict in his continent. And I would like to know how you feel about this proposal.
No, I think the whole concept of negotiations implies discussions. Let's discuss the issue, let's resolve it peacefully. Let's not resort to violent or other means. And so apart from beginning with the moment people agree to negotiate, it means they are prepared to talk and find a solution out of it. Where things become difficult is when people refuse to talk, refuse to sit, and believe that their position is the only solution, and that there is no other way. There's never only one way to solve a problem. We are creative and imaginative species, and we should be able, when confronted with issues, to discuss honestly, reason simply and sincerely, and understand that both sides have needs and find a way. And a good negotiator can be very helpful, but the good negotiator alone cannot do it. It requires openness from both sides and the parties involved in the conflict. So the idea of mediator is good, but I appeal to all of you as European citizens to be able to be open to talking, finding a solution, and accepting the fact that you are all in the same boat. I mean, the European project has been an exciting project. Yes, there are difficulties at the moment, which is normal. But when I travel around the world, many regions are envious of what you've achieved in Europe. Some people alive today are old enough to remember what happened in World War II. They could not believe that Europe has been transformed in the way it has today. Today, I personally do not believe that war in Europe is thinkable, and that is a great achievement. And that's something you hold on to, and if there are problems, resolve it through discussions and peacefully.
Yeah. Mr. Annan, thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much for being with us today. Bye-bye. Then I want to ask all the young people of Hope XXL to come to the stage, because of course Mr. Annan was our most important guest, but we can't forget